You will not believe how Shadyside has recently changed and why we are helping so many tech workers relocate to this neighborhood.
And the goal of this video is to show you everything you need to know about living in Shadyside.
Yeah, and we did this video specifically for you guys because you've been reaching out every single day regarding the Shadyside neighborhood. So we'll really be showing you the best places to live here, the best streets, along with the business districts, and revealing some cons towards the end to help you if you may want to roll this area out completely. And we'll also be discussing why this area has been changing so rapidly.
And we're getting started right now.
And one of the best parts of Shadyside is actually the housing and how unique it is.
Yeah, most of the styles you're going to see are Victorian or colonial revival style.
Yeah, and there's also options for new construction like we could see behind us, but that is pretty limited. But you do get some townhomes, some single family homes. Sometimes they'll do a tear down and rebuild. And the average price point here is around $580,000, which has appreciated over 70% in just the past year alone, according to Redfin, which is kind of mind-blowing.
But one con of this area is it can be hard to find affordable single family housing. The area is made up of 70% landlords, 30% owners. So it does make it very difficult for single families to find something that is within their price range. And when they do go on the market, they go fast.
They do. There's only 38 homes currently available on the MLS in Shadyside. And mainly that's due to the lower inventory we have right now. But typically you're going to see more than that in a normal market. But still only 38 homes to choose from in this neighborhood. So options are kind of limited, so they do go fast. We've helped numerous people win bidding wars in this area because there were so many people, like 15, bidding on the same house.
And what's great about this place is you're going to see garages and driveways, which isn't something standard in most Pittsburgh neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's really not. And that's why a lot of people call Shadyside more like suburban compared to a lot of other city neighborhoods like Lawrenceville, where you have row homes and literally street parking. Shadyside does offer nice large lot sizes along with options for garages and large driveways, so parking really isn't an issue here.
Since we grew up always going through Shadyside, it's always interesting to see how our clients react on their first visit to the area. So when they walk through, they often describe the area as looking like they're living in a giant park, which many people like. I know I love these large sidewalks, all of the trees, and it is a very, very walkable area.
Yeah, and the name, that's a good point, George, because the name of this area was actually determined by all of these large trees that provided shade. And there are some parks, so you have Mellon Park, you have another playground, and you're actually close to Frick and Chenley Park. So even you could tell some of this landscaping, like covering the house, provides a lot of privacy, especially for being in a city neighborhood. And it just provides a really unique feature of a neighborhood that just provides that charm, that quaintness, and that nature feel within the city.
And you also notice, besides all of the older trees that have matured, they still are planting new trees all of the time in this area. So you can tell that the outdoors life here is very important to the Shadyside community, and it's very eco-friendly.
And what's awesome about Shadyside is, like, right here you'll have a contemporary style home, but literally right next to it you have like a beautiful Victorian style. So the architecture is really different. Nothing is cookie cutter about this neighborhood whatsoever. And the homes and the streets do vary a lot. So it really does depend on what street you're on, where property prices will be more expensive than others. And even with the parking, some streets you might not get any driveway at all. So you really want to know these neighborhoods, know the streets, so that you could ultimately get into the best area that's going to fit what you're looking for lifestyle-wise.
And in this area, you'll see townhomes. We also have condos, and then there's luxury condos too. Those start in around the $600,000 price range.
Yeah, and what's nice about the non-luxury condos is that a lot of times you could get them starting at around $150,000. So if you see anything listed under like $400,000, it's usually going to be a condo. Typically, single family properties start around that $400,000 range. And for that, you're not going to get something that's renovated. If you want something renovated, a nice single family, you're looking at around $500,000, $550,000 starting point, going all the way up to $3 million plus. So we're down the road from Walnut Street. This is actually called Ivy Street. And as you could see, the homes are a bit closer together. You're getting a lot of street parking compared to the large driveways that we were just on. So it is different, and you will see that difference in price range. Typically, these are going for the mid to higher 400,000s up into, I would say, the higher 500,000s, just depending on the finishes, the quality, the square footage, and all of those factors. But just keep in mind, every single street is different. And we've had clients move to Shadyside and then remove to Shadyside a few years later just because they wanted a different street in the neighborhood. So it is important to reach out to us. We could really navigate the streets for you and place you in that perfect spot. If you tell us 2 to 3 things about what you're looking for, we're really able to determine not only what street, but sometimes the exact house that's going to match exactly your description. And speaking of nightlife, we're right outside of Shady Grove, so that's an awesome place to grab some drinks, grab some food. It's very lively, especially on the weekends. And I was actually just at the Jam on Walnut Street, which is like a event that they do, kind of like block party, where you could pop around to different places like Mario's and Shady Grove, grab some drinks, and also they serve drinks right here on the road. So it was completely packed. You couldn't even move. Lots of college students, because there is lots of colleges nearby, such as Carnegie Mellon, Pitt, and Chatham University.
Yeah, I didn't make it to this shady block party this year. I decided to stay home and hang out with the wife, but Riley had a really good time.
Yeah, he's more of an arts festival guy, so
yeah,
he goes to the Shadyside Art Festival.
I have been to that and actually did pick up a few paintings. I have one of a walrus that looks like a businessman, so he's like a walrus person. I keep it in my office. It's a little strange, but I like the strange art.
That's funny. But as you guys could kind of tell behind us, like, you have lots of little trees being planted below, also old growth trees, and nice sidewalks. All the sidewalks are very well maintained in this area. And depending on the street you're on, sometimes houses are a bit closer, like here. But what we've heard from clients, the reason they like Shadyside a lot is because you do get larger lots, you get large driveways, yard space, and that's all in the city. Where some streets like this one feels a little more tight, you're kind of neck and neck with your neighbor, but at least you still do have that driveway space and off-street parking.
Driveways are a rare find in the city, and this place is abundant of them.
They are. There's only a few neighborhoods in the city that actually do have like driveway and off-street parking. Actually, a house that we're getting ready to list has 5 parking spots in Bloomfield, one of the only streets in Bloomfield with parking whatsoever. So, I mean, we did grow up in this area. We know every single street. If you're looking for off-street parking, we could really point you into the right direction.
Right now, we're in Riley's favorite business district in the Shadyside, Walnut Street.
Yeah, so the reason I like Walnut Street is it's very quaint, but it still has that upscale feel. You have lots of different shops like Lululemon for the ladies. You have, and I guess they also have men's clothes, right? You have some Lulus.
My wife got me a few pairs. I used to wear Nike, but I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty comfortable.
And then you have Banana Republic, you have a Starbucks, Jitters Cafe, different bakeries, Gap, shoe stores. It's really a mix of like your local boutiques, but also national retailers. And also, it's just very walkable, quaint, it's tree-lined, and you're actually right off of some residential streets. So you could literally live like a minute away from Walnut Street, which is a huge advantage. We've actually had clients move a street above Walnut Street, and they absolutely love the convenience of being able to walk here every day and grab a juice, grab a coffee, get your local makeup, and just go shopping. He's trying
to hide. Guys, and in the area, you also have an Apple store, a Rite Aid, and even a Mario's for some nightlife. If you're anything like me, I do like my Apple products, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been using them since 2012 and only use Apple. But
and you also like that nightlife, am I right?
Once in a while.
Not anymore.
Not too much anymore.
Got some treats of Belgian waffles and ice cream, along with a cafe right here. So this part almost feels like you're kind of in like a village style.
It does.
Some gift stores. Oh, and look, it says Tennis Village. Weren't you there a few times?
Yeah, I did go to Tennis Village. So what's interesting about Tennis Village in the Pittsburgh area, I would say it's, if not the only, it is the best place for getting any of your tennis equipment. Whether you need to get a new racket, simply get your racket restrung, pick up any tennis gear. Because something that I've noticed in Pittsburgh over the last few years, there seemed to be a decline when it came to tennis. I would go to Dick's Sporting Goods, Dunham's, and they didn't have the same selection that they did maybe 6 years ago. So I looked everywhere and I found Tennis Village, thankfully, and I was able to restring my racket there. But Really, that's my #1 place, and their prices are actually reasonable.
And look at that, you have the Shadyside Art Festival that starts on your birthday.
Big 30.
You like that place.
So right behind me is Mardi Gras. It's Pittsburgh's only and oldest cocktail bar. Well, I don't know if that's true, but that's what they're saying in the marketing. There's definitely other cocktail bars. But what makes this one so unique is the atmosphere. So when you enter, it's a nice dimly lit area, and you're also allowed to smoke cigars in there, making it one of my favorites. And they specialize in organic juice drinks. So with their cocktails, every single fruit that you'll find in any of the drink selection, it's all going to be freshly pressed juice. So you're going to get some of the freshest cocktails that you've ever had. They have one called the Greyhound. That's their signature drink. And what's in that is pomegranate, and then mixed with some sort of vodka. I'm not sure the brand, but it is delicious, and I'm always a fan of the organic fruits. And then to my left, we have Girasoli's. So Girasoli's is one of the most popular Italian places in this entire area. We recommend it highly. I give it a 5 out of 5. When you guys come to Shadyside, we'll have to go out and grab a bite to eat there.
Yeah, and the owner is also awesome. He's there a lot and has great stories, always drinking wine and having a blast in there.
Yeah, he is.
And Mardi Gras is not the only place you're gonna find juice, because you have Lucid Juice right here, which is one of my favorite juice spots. They have the best smoothies, protein options, acai bowls, health shots, espresso, and literally one of my favorite parts about the Shadyside area. Then it looks like you have some yoga, stacked burgers, and beer. Have you ever been there, George?
I have not.
Me either. Just Mardi Gras.
Just Mardi Gras.
And
and Girasoli.
there we go.
There we go.
But what's nice also about this area, you do have yoga, which we have some people going into now, and you have a few fitness centers just off of Walnut Street. But we'll talk a little bit shortly about the pricing and the housing right off of Walnut Street, because these are some of the most desirable areas to live, being only steps away from some of the best shopping and dining in all of Shadyside. We're just walking down Walnut Street. You have a Rolex right to our left. You have some jewelers to our left as well. Rite Aid, Apple, Kendra Scott.
Yeah, even though I don't personally care for high-end shopping, I do like that these businesses are within the area, because it definitely contributes to the economy around here and attracts a higher professional clientele. That's keeps the area very clean, really just in pristine condition. It's one of the cleanest parts of the city when it comes to like trash, the sidewalks, not the typical city smells that you'll see sometimes. I guess not see, smell sometimes, but
That's funny.
yeah.
And then,
really, it's a very well taken care of area with a lot of booming businesses and great places to eat.
It really is. And you have a new coffee shop and bakery coming soon. It looks like it's like Paris style, which we'll definitely have to go try. Cafe Mullen is super good. So they show right there you have almost 800 4.5 or 4.7 star reviews. Delicious food. I kind of like how they have their Google profile out like that. But like right off of Walnut Street on all of these side streets, you'll see some more businesses and kind of just that village style. And then you do have some more coffee shops on this road and some galleries, some boutiques. Very awesome. And this is actually where they have the Jam on Walnut Street, which is like all of the bars on this street, like Shady Grove and Mario's. There's only like 2. So it's not like a hot spot for nightlife, but it's pretty good for nightlife.
Yeah, it has enough going on that if you ever wanted to go out, there's never going to be a shortage of people, but it's not your like crazy college town.
Yeah, so like a lot of people think because Shadyside's next to all these colleges that the nightlife's going to be insane, but it's really not. It's more of your CMU, like higher end college students that are pretty quiet and take their school and work seriously. But if you do want like a crazy party scene, you might want to go out to Southside. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, we haven't been there in a long time, but that would be the area where all the bars are.
Yeah, but like I was saying, the Jam on Walnut Street, they actually serve like White Claws and beer on this road, and you could grab your drink on Walnut Street, walk around with your friends, hit up the different bars, and it's overall pretty fun. I would say it is a lot of college students that do go to it, so it's a younger crowd.
All right, guys, we just walked around 5 miles in Shadyside, but I'll tell you what, it's a big difference walking around here than it is in other parts of Pittsburgh, like Squirrel Hill, which is jumping, or you're just walking on an incline the whole time, up and down hills. This area is very flat, making it very pleasant to walk. Yeah, one great thing about walking here too, besides just the flat terrain, is how large the sidewalks are. So you have an ample room for like crowds to walk through without having to move out of the way. And on top of that, just very pedestrian friendly. People are very kind here when you're crossing roads. They let you go. But yeah, it's definitely like a commuter and walkers area, and people have a lot of respect to not be in your way when walking around here.
Yeah, guys, if this is an area you're looking for that you do not need to have a car for, so say you're coming without a car or just really enjoy walkability, then Shadyside definitely is one of those neighborhoods, because not only, like George said, there's large sidewalks, and these go throughout the whole entire neighborhood, making it very easy to walk, but also your walking distance to anything you would need based on your location. And that's where we really come in. We could really get you on the right street based on if you're coming without a car, so that you'll be able to walk to your groceries, walk to your barbershop, and walk to wherever you need to go on the daily basis.
Exactly. A lot of the professionals that we work with that work in the hospitals and medical actually walk to work, or a lot of them bike. So very good area for that. And when you're living in Shadyside, there's no reason you even need a car.
Yeah, that's true. And there is a lot of bike lanes, like George said, so you do see a lot of bikers. And then there's opportunity to rent bikes throughout the city with the city system here. So it is very nice for that active lifestyle. You always see people jogging, walking. And personally, like, it's probably 11 a.m. and we probably got around 5,000 steps in so far, just being here for an hour or two.
Exactly. We're filling it now, but we still have a lot to show you guys, so we're going to get another 5,000 here soon.
Yes, we will. And what's nice is walking around here too. It's beautiful architecture, amazing churches. Again, you have tree-lined streets, really nice housing, and we've sold numerous homes in this area, so we actually are going to check in on a previous client that we sold a house to today and grab some lunch with them just to check up on how they really liked Pittsburgh so far.
And Shadyside actually has the most bus lines out of any Pittsburgh neighborhood, making it very great on transportation, very easy to get around. So going to the city, the only thing Riley and I sometimes dread is finding parking, but in Shadyside, there's many street parking places to go. There's garages. A lot of them actually give you like the first 2 hours for free, which is really rare in Pittsburgh. Usually they're on your heels they're on your heels if you're there for like 10 minutes over your meter. So this place actually feels like you're parking in a suburb versus city, which is very nice and makes it very easy to get around.
Yeah, and I recommend parking on like the residential streets because they're free, and it's a nice little walk to get to the commercial districts. But the thing is, today we went and we started our day at the coffee project. I forget what it's called. K something coffee project. And I did get a parking ticket. Now that was technically in East Liberty, but I was only 5 minutes over, so this keeps happening to me.
5 minutes costs $25.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
And where are we outside of now that we went to yesterday after that listing appointment? Centered Wellness. So this is like Pittsburgh's wellness cafe. They have like mushroom mochas, lots of turmeric, lots of homemade honey, and really natural ingredients, lots of gluten-free and protein bars that are made only from natural stuff. So I really like this place and their protein balls. The cashew one, that was fire.
Riley really loved this place. On my opinion, I don't know if I need mushrooms with my coffee or turmeric. I drink a shake every single morning that has a lot of my health things in it. But when I drink my coffee, I usually like it black. Riley convinced me to get this like bee's knees cold brew drink. Tasted like I was drinking like ice cream for breakfast, but apparently it had mushrooms and chai or something in it. Yeah, turmeric. I don't know. I'm all about health and wellness, but the coffee made me feel a little really weird after. I was feeling a little weird.
He's just saying that, like, some people, I'm a real wellness person. Okay, George, so I really like this. You're not even allowed to have your laptop in here, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, which means it's not a place we'd come and work at ever. If I want to, if I want to read a book or something, I'll probably sit on my front porch. I'm not going to come here without being able to use my laptop.
But guys, if you like wellness, vegan, gluten-free stuff, then you have to at least check this out once.
What do you guys think? Comment down below. Should we go in there and try to use our laptops?
No, that's rude. I love this place. And look, they do a discount for UPMC workers because you're right next to the hospital. Very, very nice local coffee shop. Tons of local coffee shops in this area. It's probably why I love it so much. But again, George, what are your thoughts just spending a little time in Shadyside so far? What's your favorite part about it?
I know we say this on a lot of videos, but I love walking around here and I love the trees.
Come on, give us something different.
Something different?
Even just from your past visits, you've been down here a lot. You have lots of friends who live here. We've moved a lot of people into this area. What is your favorite part that's unique about Shadyside?
I like the people in this area a lot. I find that everybody's like a professional, so very friendly, very respectful compared to other parts of Pittsburgh. Like people will get out of your way if you're walking. People hold doors open for each other in this community. If you go to the bar, you know, you don't have to bump into the next person to go get your drink or anything. It's just everybody's just very respectful and professional, and very, very friendly. And you know, especially on these nice days in Pittsburgh, it's something I really appreciate about this community is how tight knit it feels. You know, there's nothing really better than a like fall, crisp Pittsburgh day, walking around the city, people smiling, grabbing something good to eat, and going for a nice leisurely walk. It's a beautiful city.
Great answer. Wonderful answer. All right, guys, this is what I love to see. So I don't even know what this place is called. I guess Mezzi. But they have dairy-free milkshakes. But not only that, they don't use any seed oils. They use extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil. So that is pretty rare to find. They also do have vegan options and looks very good. Bowls. George is like the bowl king. Anywhere we go, he builds his own bowl. So I'm sure you would have a lot of fun here with the... Oh, they have tahini shakes. Cold brew. There you go, George.
Everything we need, but
Arabic
I've been liking
salad?
Chipotle because I've been liking to eat fast and get out.
No Chipotle anymore. I told him I'm done with Mexican food for a little bit.
I think we're getting Chipotle today.
No, we're not. Look, fried in avocado oil, seed oil free. Mezzi, guys, it's called. So definitely check it out. I kind of want to go in. Hummus, vanilla tahini shake, Turkish cream cold brew, honey blossom cold brew.
Wow,
There you go, George.
all those crazy flavors like I just said I don't like. Just cold brew black, please.
I just want to peek in Lebanese street food. See, there is great food in Pittsburgh, and we actually have clients, a lot of clients are chefs here that come to Pittsburgh for a job.
Riley's peeking in there.
Or like we've actually had a lot of clients start their own businesses in Pittsburgh and start their own restaurants. So it's really exciting to see, but I feel like it's a very up and coming neighborhood and up and coming city where the food scene, I mean, even though there's so many great options, it's not as competitive as like some major cities if you did want to open your own business here. And then you have some authentic Chinese and Japanese cuisine. So like no shortage of good food. Looks awesome.
One thing I love about Pittsburgh's food too is being right next to Bloomfield, which is Little Italy. I think we have the best Italian food. Besides probably Italy, right? But that I've had, and I've traveled a lot of different states, probably like 30 of the 50 so far. So definitely have some of the best Italian food in Pittsburgh, and pizza, which is obviously Italian, but
yeah, so many pizza shops
so many pizza shops
and
like,
beer
everywhere.
We're a pizza, beer, sports town. But back to that Bloomfield, there's actually Little Italy Day here in like 5 days, which we go to every year almost. I think I missed last year, but I'm super excited to go. They have like tiramisu, and even though I can't eat it, it's fun to watch it because I'm gluten-free.
Yeah, my wife Kirsten likes to load up on the tiramisu. She gets enough for the week, and every single night I have to resist going into the fridge at midnight.
Yeah, but they just do have really, really good pastas, really good Italian food, and even gluten-free. Garrisoli, like I said, one of the best Italian foods, and that's actually in Shadyside here. So it looks like we have another hospital here, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute Specialty Care. George, we talked about my favorite business district, which is Walnut Street, of course, because of why? Lululemon and just the upscale shops. But what is your favorite district?
So I actually prefer South Highland Avenue. It's closer to East Liberty, where I have a lot of friends working in that area. Sometimes we like to meet up in between, but what's nice about South Highland, a few places to go grab a bite to eat, a drink, and also they do have nitrogen-infused ice cream, which is kind of a cool treat. I do like my ice cream.
Right next to the gym, the fitness center.
Yeah, so you could go have your ice cream and then go to the gym, or You can actually eat your ice cream in front of the gym while people are working out. Yeah,
That's funny. It's an indoor-outdoor gym too, so it's all indoor, but you have like a big window that they open, so you get the outdoor breeze. And we went in there just to check it out, and it looks like a party almost. They have like club music going. It's kind of dark in there. You don't really see gyms like that.
We're ready to go do a couple sets and then maybe dance a little bit. We didn't know what the vibe was. Dance, lift, both. But hey, it did look like a really nice place though.
What I like on South Highland Avenue is actually the restaurant Cosba. So I just went there with my clients who ended up selling their house in Shadyside. And okay, so we got like olives to start. They had the pits in them, delicious. Got some champagne, it was really good. And then my meal, I got this scallop pasta, and they actually make their pasta handmade. And it was like a butter garlic sauce, gluten-free noodles, absolutely phenomenal. And then all of the desserts, like half of them were gluten-free, which I was so happy. And I got like the raspberry tart made from almond flour. Phenomenal food. So there is some fine dining on South Highland. And you also have Millie's, which is like another ice cream place that has dairy-free options. And overall, South Highland is pretty nice. It's right next to East Liberty, like George said, so you do have like the Chipotle, Fine Wine and Good Spirits, Piata, and lots of conveniences right around that area.
Piata's a gem. I just had that for the first time. It's Italian Chipotle. It's very good.
It is. It's actually fire.
And besides just food, if you guys are looking for some activities to do, for anybody watching that likes to play tennis, they have a phenomenal store here in Shadyside called Tennis Village, which has like all the specialty equipment you could ever imagine when it comes to tennis rackets, shoes, any other gear you need. And what's really cool, they're one of the few places that I've found in the area that will restring your rackets. So tennis seems to be dying, at least in some of the areas in Pittsburgh that I've gone to, where I went to Dick's, Dunham, some of the big retail stores. And they had such a small selection of rackets, and they stopped doing restringing services, which really sucks because I break my strings a lot. I probably hit the ball too hard. Or, I don't know, maybe they just didn't string them up right the first time. But I went to the place in Shadyside, and I thought it was phenomenal. And there's like tennis courts all around us. There's like one within 10 minutes. So great place to play tennis. You're going to find some high-skilled players here too. So if you're somebody that's more serious about it, you'll definitely find people that match up with your competition. And tennis is one of those sports where you obviously want to play with somebody that's at the equal skill level you are, because there's only two of you, and if you're not, that's not going to be fun.
And don't you go in an app to find people for tennis?
Yeah, I did find this app. I forget the name. I think it's like Find Your Court, but essentially it's like Tinder for tennis. So it matches you up with other tennis players.
Funny.
It was a little weird my first time, just meeting this other guy in the park. But after that, it was pretty cool. Yeah, we just met up, played some tennis. And the thing is, in Pittsburgh, not everybody plays, so it's a cool app. And a lot of the times I would meet people who would be in the Shadyside area. Because there's some clay courts around here too, which aren't found everywhere.
True. All right, so we have Baum Boulevard right there. We're right off of Center Avenue. And then coming up, we have another Starbucks to our right, tons of coffee places, a salon up there, and we're getting close to the Target, which is technically in East Liberty, but that's a brand new Target that they just built a few years ago. Great asset to the area, just having a Target inner city. Tons of people want to live right next to it.
Yeah, it's a very large Target. It has a lot of different groceries and stuff. I'd say like probably 3 times the size of a lot that we've seen in different suburbs.
Even fresh produce and all of that, which you don't typically get.
Yeah, so they definitely built that knowing it would be one of the main grocery stores people in the area would use, making it very convenient. So you have the Target and you have the Giant Eagle Market District. So
Whole Foods, Trader Joe's.
Whole Foods, yeah, there's endless options here.
Shortage, guys.
You guys are going to be eating good. What I love about this area, it's a mix between office space and retail. So there's plenty of places to work and places to relax with a park right next by. There's ponds here, guys.
Really
Tons of different food options. And one of the perfect places to grab something to eat between working, honestly.
Yeah, what's nice, we're about to go to the food court. Like I said, it has multiple options to eat. So when some people want Mexican and some people want Asian, then there's a compromise and you can still eat together. But we actually had a few closings like across the street. So this section is very big. It's a large bakery square section. Outside space, the closing across the street was really cool because there's like different ponds, different places to sit outside, and overall it feels very new compared to most Pittsburgh neighborhoods and Pittsburgh places. This kind of feels like you're in an escape from Pittsburgh. Very upscale, clean, and you have a nice parking guy out there. Anthropology, high-end furniture stores.
And Jenny's ice cream.
Jenny's ice cream, it's fire. We love Jenny's ice cream. Free
Riley,
people.
ice cream's cold. How can it be fire?
That's
Sorry, that's
fun.
just a little slang.
No, but they actually have like some of the best ice cream ever. They do little ice cream flights too, so you could try different flavors, pistachio, all of the goodies. But this is really what I want to show you guys is the city kitchen part of Bakery Square. Now, we came here before our event we had for eXp Realty, and it was really nice to grab a drink beforehand. Golden Guy, City Kitchen, Taqueria. And then this is the place where you have like 4 different options to eat from. So we're going to grab some food, or George is gonna get some ice cream.
Maybe a little both.
And then we'll talk to you guys shortly. Beautiful day again. The most important part is there's an LA Fitness right here. Very popular gym in Pittsburgh, and I mean, this is a nice environment to have your gym in. You could walk and get a coffee afterwards, get some sushi, some food, and then this is the awesome place. So you always have kids outside of here with playing games. They have like tic-tac-toe.
That's amazing.
Better than a beer.
Yes.
Based on what you're looking for, if you want a flat neighborhood, if you want something hilly, if you want something walkable, if you want something more affordable or more luxury with access to anything you would need without a car, we could really go one-on-one with you and help you determine what areas are going to fit you the best. And not only that, but negotiate on your behalf and really get you the best deal possible, especially in a crazy market like this. I mean, we're winning bidding wars every single week with over 15 bids because we really know how to craft these offers, and we really specialize here in real estate. So it's been a pleasure, but like I said, if you're relocating, make sure you reach out so that we can help you navigate the areas based on what you're looking for and really get you in that dream home. So guys, we're walking through Bakery Square, and this is our tech center. So this is actually right on the outskirts of Shadyside. So you're about 2 minutes away from Mellon Park. And this is what we're super excited to show you.
Big
so
news.
we're right outside of Google.
Yep, so very exciting, guys. Google just recently came to Pittsburgh. This is huge for the economy. So Google actually invested $15 million into the Pittsburgh community to help foster technological growth, including building their office. So right now, they're just shy of 1,000 employees with plans to continue to grow. And even more exciting, they're starting to coin this area AI Avenue. So what do I mean by AI Avenue? Well, according to the Pittsburgh Gazette and some other sources, there's going to be around 20 different AI companies all coming to Pittsburgh. Some of them are already here, and there's a $2 million grant going into fostering this growth. So why this is so huge for Pittsburgh? AI obviously is a hot ticket thing right now. You guys have heard about it. We use AI when it comes to our business to help find you guys the best deals and to do everything from write emails to do research. So AI coming to Pittsburgh is a huge change for our city, which usually lacked a little bit on the technology side. We always were very ahead of times when it came to medical and medical technology, but when it came to business, we were a little bit behind, I'd say, when considering like the West Coast and some other areas that we traveled to when it comes to tech startups and things like that. So this coming to Pittsburgh is going to completely change the economy. We are getting reached out to every single day through you guys coming to Pittsburgh now for tech jobs. And we are so excited about this coming to our community because these jobs are also very high paying. It's going to boost the local economy, and Pittsburgh becoming a technological hub is so exciting for guys. Like, we've been here our whole lives and we've never seen anything like it.
It is super exciting, and what's nice is Google coming into the Pittsburgh economy. They're actually doing a lot of donations to the local universities, local libraries, local gyms. So Google themselves are investing money into Pittsburgh, and the majority of money going into Pittsburgh is actually towards the East End. So they're doing a lot here in the East End because of these tech jobs, because of Google, and because of AI Avenue, like George said. So we have helped a lot of people looking in tech to actually move to Shadyside just because you're right on the cusp of all of this. And it's just a nice walkable community, very nature friendly, but Shadyside is definitely a great option if you are moving to Pittsburgh for tech specifically, because you're right next to our tech center.
Exactly, guys. Think about it this way. We're usually pretty excited when a Whole Foods moves into an area because we notice appreciation from that, and it's a good sign that the neighborhood's up and coming. Think about what Google coming is going to do.
Yeah, and you have Whole Foods. So you have a Google, you have a Whole Foods, you have a Target, and Starbucks everywhere, which are all crazy aspects for price appreciation and knowing that an influx of people will always be coming to these areas.
I like to look at it as an AI stimulus package, what it's going to do to the community and appreciation in the area. It's so exciting too, just talking to all the young professionals working for Google. I think they're going to come up with some great innovation in Pittsburgh, and I hope this growth continues because it's only going to make property prices appreciate and bring in even higher end clientele to the area.
Yeah, and more businesses, which is very exciting because you even do have Aurora, which was spurred the movement for the first self-driving car. That was a startup here. You have
and Tesla does a lot of testing here as well.
They do. So Pittsburgh is a very exciting place, and we like how compared to other cities, it's still relatively affordable. Now it's up and coming, so people are getting in at the perfect time because as Google's more established, as AI Avenue and all of these tech companies really like nail their way into Pittsburgh, prices are going to rise along with that. So now's an exciting time because it's up and coming. Things haven't shot up like you're seeing in other major cities. And trust me, we are getting reach outs every single day from people, whether they're looking to invest in Pittsburgh or just move here from all different places in the United States and even out of the country. So the area is super hot for relocation, especially in the past 3 years.
And remember guys, these 20 companies we talked about and why it's being called AI Avenue are all startups. So if a few of them are successful, that could lead to huge growth within the area and thousands of more jobs. So very, very excited about this.
It is.
And home prices within this area start at around $500,000 and then go up to the millions.
And what is the street called?
This is
Pembroke Place. Pembroke Place. And it looks like you have a 3-car garage right here. So like we said, no shortage of parking. And what's nice is if you're visiting the area or coming for dinner, you could always park on the residential streets for free, or you could choose to go in a parking garage or a parking lot and pay for parking, which is pretty inexpensive. And a lot of places will give you the first 2 hours for free and weekends on free, which is awesome.
So in the Shadyside area, about 70% of people actually rent while 30% of people own. That's due to the high prices of the homes and a lot of college students being in the area. So it is a very renter-friendly area. And the houses don't go on the market much either, which probably affects why there's not so many homes actually purchased versus being rented. People tend to hold these properties long-term, and there's a lot of generational wealth involved.
There is, and also good point is that there's only about 38 properties currently actively for sale right now. So also inventory is pretty at low levels, like compared to what Pittsburgh usually is at. So in a different market, there could be a lot more, but particularly this market, 38 homes for sale, which isn't that much to choose from, but I mean, it's pretty active overall.
Exactly, and they go very fast because this is one of the most desired areas to live in the entire city.
It is, yeah. And that also has to contribute why property prices are priced at the levels they are. So currently the median property price is around $580,000. And surprisingly, that's actually up 70% year over year.
70%?
70%, according to Redfin. So the area did get its name from all of the old growth trees, providing the area lots of shade. So you have old growth trees, but also new ones being planted, beautiful landscaping, flowers. It's really like an oasis outside of the city, but in the city, you're only about 15 minutes away from downtown, and you're in the East End, so you're surrounded by neighborhoods such as Bloomfield, East Liberty, and Squirrel Hill. And I really like this area because it does feel like very charming. It feels kind of like a suburb in the city, lots of yard space, really, really cute like streets here. As you can see, they're like brick and you have some cobblestone streets. So really gives it that charming uphill, very welcoming, very inviting, and just very upscale and quaint feeling. And you're only about 15 minutes away from downtown Pittsburgh, and you're surrounded by neighborhoods such as Bloomfield, East Liberty, and Squirrel Hill. You're not far away from Frick Park or Shenley Park, and you also have parks in the area such as Mellon Park, which is right next to Bakery Square, which is actually like our tech center. So that's where Google is, that's where you have a lot of office buildings, but also just like outdoor space to grab food. There's a food court, there's different restaurants, and lots of different shops. So Bakery Square is an awesome area. We were actually there yesterday after we showed a client a home and went on a listing appointment. And George was very impressed by the food he got.
Yeah, the food was very good. And I also just love seeing tech come to Pittsburgh. Seeing Google there now is a big deal. And I have a few friends that work there. So very exciting to see that opportunity come to Pittsburgh. And I hope more tech continues to come and builds up the local economy.
Yeah, definitely will. And we have a ton of tech workers who we help relocate here and find that perfect area. And a lot of them do get situated really close to Bakery Square. Here in Shadyside, a lot of them like the condos, townhomes, along with just single family properties that have been renovated here. Lots of renovations taking place, but what's nice is they don't like take out the old school charm. They definitely leave the old school charm and add some modernness to it. So it's really what people are looking for nowadays. And as you can see, like even on this home behind me, really nice like turf in the yard. You'll see a lot of turf yards here. Lots of dogs, right? So that's very good for pets. Also, lots of stores here for the pets. And it is very pet friendly, very welcoming for dogs. And you'll see tons of people jogging, being very active, and walking their dogs no matter the time of day.
Yeah, and we found out recently that Shadyside actually started out as farmland. Then in the 1800s started to become more residential properties, and then as you can see now, drastically different than back then. So I wonder what the people that originally settled and created this area would think of it now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most popular neighborhoods here. Whenever you're reading blog posts online, best neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, Shadyside's always going to come up, probably alongside Squirrel Hill. And that's why a lot of our clients initially want to move to Shadyside, is because they read so many great things about it. They've heard about it online, but once you get here, you either like it or you don't. I mean, a lot of people love it because of everything it has to offer, but a con is the pricing is pretty expensive. Like we said, it's around $580 average sales price currently, but the thing is, you could get condos starting in the mid to lower 100,000s up to like 400, but I would say that the single family homes usually start in the mid 450s, and for that you're not getting anything renovated. You're probably looking at the mid 500s to get a nice renovated single family home, which could be a con, could be a pro, depending on your budget. And there is a lot of off-street parking that is very accessible to these business districts, which is very nice. You don't see that in many city neighborhoods. That's the reason I like to come here. I don't like to walk alone all of the time, but it's nice to have parking literally right next to these business districts. So I'm not worried about walking far distances, especially at night.
And a fun fact for you guys out there. So in the 60s and 70s, this place was filled with so much art and music that the Pittsburgh Press actually called it a haven for hippies. It was called the Greenwich Village. So
Wow.
It was very hippie friendly there. I don't see too many hippies here now.
It's more Lawrenceville is like the hipster neighborhood.
Yeah.
Lots of sushi places, lots of boba tea, lots of like unique cuisine instead of just your typical American. So that's really nice to see. And they also do have some nice like authentic Italian restaurants such as Garrisoli, which we both ate at recently.
Oh, it's amazing.
Phenomenal. The owner is awesome. He's actually there a lot, and you could tell that family definitely takes pride in their restaurant.
Oh, Mardi Gras. Yep. So what's really nice about that place, they have a cigar lounge. It's very dark. They have some high-end cuisine. But what's really cool about them that separates them from a lot of the other bars and restaurants in the area, they specialize in freshly squeezed juice cocktails. So their number one selling drink is called the Greyhound, which is freshly squeezed grapefruit with vodka. It's just amazing. It's higher quality ingredients. They use organic fruit, and you can really tell the difference with the fresh squeezed taste. And yeah, I enjoy sipping on one of those with a nice cigar, and I always love the dark bars.
Yeah, dark.
Dim lit, I should say. So like we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of renters in the area, and that means there are a lot of college students. So you'll see a lot of duplexes in the area, as well as townhomes. But keep in mind, this area isn't like the crazy party central area. You're not going to have people puking in the streets, like running around screaming. I mean, I'm sure it's happened once or twice, but this is not that typical college town, which I probably wouldn't want to live near myself at this point of life. That's more like Oakland and certain parts of there, but you have a lot of people that are very serious about school here. Like you have Carnegie Mellon University, so you're dealing with a lot of like engineers, scientists, and people that really take their studies seriously. So they're not the ones that are screaming and keeping you up all night. So don't worry about that in this area, but you will have some college life, just enough to keep it fun.
Yeah, and this area is very quiet. Again, very quaint, almost like a suburb in the city. So it's very, like, compared to other city neighborhoods, not loud at all. It's actually quite peaceful. You could still hear the birds chirping. And here, look, George, get in front of a Georgian.
Wow. That's almost spelled like George, but there's an I-A-N and not an E. Pretty cool.
Oh my God. So anyways, who you typically see living in Shadyside is going to be a mix of young professionals. You do have families here because of lots of private districts that are very highly rated, such as the Ellis School. What's the other one that you like a lot?
Shadyside Academy. That's one of the top rated schools in the entire area.
Yeah, he's known people who went to Shadyside Academy and have great things to say.
Yeah, they were very prepped for college, the people that I know that went there.
Yep, and we also have family who went to like Oakland Catholic here in this area, along with Central Catholic of Georgia's. These are girl and boy schools.
Yeah, which makes a big difference. A lot of people will put down the Pittsburgh city schools, even though they still are a lot better than like most schools in Florida or other areas. But compared to Pennsylvania, where we do have great educational systems, they are average to pretty good, but that's what makes Shadyside a gem, because you have so many options when it comes to private schools within the area, some more affordable than others.
Yeah, definitely. And good point, because our public schools, like, they're pretty good, but when you're comparing it to the rest of Pennsylvania education, Western Pennsylvania in specific, a lot of times you're going to see families go out to the suburbs because, I mean, these schools are highly rated, some of the top in the state, and it's kind of hard to compete with like these private schools such as the Ellis School and Shadyside Academy.
Even though nationwide, the city schools are still very good. But when you're talking about smaller demographics, the private schools in this area are going to be higher rated. And then a lot of people, like you said, Riley, do go to the suburbs or even areas like North Huntington, which we recently did a video on just because of how high the school districts are ranked.
Yeah, and I believe Shadyside Academy, actually, I don't know if they completely moved there or they have another school there, but it's also located in Bucks Chapel. Besides the families and the young professionals, you're also going to see a lot of retirees in this area. A big reason is they're taking advantage of UPMC Shadyside. So that is a renowned hospital. They have like the highest rating you could have for hospitals and nurses. And I mean, personally, my grandma has been there a lot, our grandma actually.
Yeah, we got her a lot of Uber Eats of Panera over to that hospital.
Yeah, just in the past few years, she's been in and out, but she says when she's there, she doesn't even mind. Sometimes she'll try to stay there on purpose because she gets treated so well.
Yeah, I don't get it. I wouldn't want to stay there that long, but she loves it for some reason.
It's just funny because who wants to stay in a hospital? But that just shows you UPM's Shadyside, like, really treats you well. And she's always leaving there. She made so many nurse friends. She's always cracking up with them, and our grandma's a very outgoing lady, but she definitely loves UPMC Shadyside.
And I think she likes the Panera too that we have delivered to her.
Yeah, probably. So UPMC Shadyside does bring in a ton of medical professionals. You do have even like short-term nurses who will rent these places out for just like a little bit of time, but also people who reside in the area and work there full time. But it's honestly one of the best hospitals in the nation. So a lot of our clients who want quick access to a hospital, even if they don't work as medical professionals, but more for health needs, always situate around UPMC Shadyside because of its stellar reputation and services. And they also have the UPMC School of Nursing too, so you could do that through the University of Pitt.
So UPMC in Shadyside's actually been serving residents since 1866, and it's magnet certified, meaning it's one of the highest ranking international hospitals in the entire world.
Yeah, really crazy and a fantastic asset, not just to Shadyside, but to overall Pittsburgh. When people hear of Shadyside, they think of UPMC Shadyside. So if you are someone that is looking to retire, maybe you just need to be close to healthcare, or you're a working medical professional, which we help medical professionals probably every single day. That's one of our top clienteles. Then you're really, really going to like the Shadyside area. But as you can see, you have some condos here. You have lots of students getting to college. You have a stand right there. I think that's either lemonade or hot dogs. So you have a Carnegie Mellon University bus picking some students up from the condos here.
Oh, I miss
Starbucks
those
right
college
there.
days.
Do you?
Miss them. But I went to Penn State, but we'd ride the CATA bus there. It was pretty fun.
All right, so we're going to show you
Getting
guys
old
the
now.
entrance here of UPMC Shadyside. Do you have some reference to the entrance? And right there you have a Starbucks and Family House building.
There is no shortage of coffee in Shadyside. There's
Yeah.
like 6 specialty coffee shops that we walked past and within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and we work at these coffee shops all of the time. My favorite one is Mechanic Coffee. I think George is in love with their Nitro Cold Brew.
Love's a strong word. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
He said it was the best he's ever had.
Okay.
And no, but there's probably like at least 8 coffee shops. We also went to Jitters Cafe. So they have lots of different fun syrups, good drinks.
And one thing to say about Jitters Cafe, pretty good coffee, not a good working environment. One of you guys reached out to us from the YouTube channel, had a client in California, was getting on a Zoom call, and it was just very loud and chaotic. I even went to go sit outside, but it still was getting pretty crazy out there. So don't go to Jitters if you want to get a little bit of work done.
Yeah, but go to Mechanic because that one
Yeah.
you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, we were actually
We
the
were
loud ones in
loudest,
there.
and we just were on a
We felt a
quiet
little bit
call.
weird, but it doesn't really matter. When we're helping you guys, we'll make ourselves feel uncomfortable.
Cute little garden out here, some greenery, and then you could see the well-known Shadyside Hospital entrance. It takes up a large portion of the neighborhood. The neighborhood's not too large. Shadyside's about 14,000 residents, not our biggest, but it's right next to our biggest, which is Squirrel Hill. Primarily residential. Again, you do have 70% renters, 30% owners, pretty high property prices, but it's definitely worth it for the convenience to these business districts that are just so livable. Like I said, you have all of your groceries, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Giant Eagle. But like I said, you have all of these grocery stores, you have coffee shops, you have Rite Aid, your pharmacies. Like anything you would need is in this area. You wouldn't need a car. There's bike lanes dedicated for bikers, which is really awesome. And then you have your hospitals. I mean, I can't think of a thing that Shadyside lacks, and that's why not only are the property prices so high, but it's just an overall very desirable area. Parking's not an issue. Traffic's really not that bad of an issue. And the area is like pretty flat compared to Pittsburgh. A lot of clients from out of state get here and say, oh my God, why is this area so hilly? They never would have thought Pittsburgh was as hilly as it is. But Shadyside's one of those neighborhoods that are pretty flat.
So we've been in Shadyside a lot of years and have experienced a lot of the nightlife in the area. But one of our favorite stories actually happened about a month ago when we had a client coming in from the DC area. So he was moving here for a medical job, and he ended up coming in on a Friday and was staying the weekend to go tour Shadyside. So we had a very long day. We showed him, what, Riley, like 8 or 9 different properties in the area?
One day, just in one day. And
Yeah,
then the
one
next
day.
day we showed him probably like 6. It
Yep.
was a long weekend.
Yeah, took him to a bunch of the different shops, grabbed some food, some coffee during the day. Of course, the coffee, because we had Riley with us. And he absolutely loved the place. He fell in love with it. He loved how close it was to his work, which I'm not going to say the name of his work for confidentiality purposes.
Yeah,
But,
well, they could only guess in Shadyside.
Yeah. Anyways, at the end of the day, we decided to go out because he wanted to see the nightlife. He was in his mid-40s, and we went out to a bar that had some more college students in it, so it was like a younger bar. Grabbed a few cocktails, and they were doing karaoke, and a group of students actually convinced him to go up and start singing. And that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And you know, surprisingly enough, even though he's a doctor, he could actually sing really well. Or maybe I was just a little buzzed. I don't know. But I thought it sounded really great. And I thought it was great he had the confidence to get up there and do that, especially like in a young crowd like that can be brutal.
Yeah, no, that was a very fun time. We definitely have so much fun with you guys coming in, and who knows where the day will take us after a long day of showings. But we're actually right outside of Giant Eagle. It's a marketplace, actually a market district. So that's another great just convenience for the area. So many groceries, which is a big reason why people like the Shadyside area, again, is that convenience.
And for you guys out of town, Pittsburghese is calling it Giant Eagle, not Giant Eagle.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
Eagle and
So
buggy.
go to Giant Eagle and go push your buggy around. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Now we just walked over to Ellsworth Avenue, which is another business district here. You have coffee shop to our right, Buena Tarde to our left. George told them about our experience and how big our food was the other day.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. The portions there are not lacking, very filling. Riley ended up getting a like beef bowl, something like, you know, similar to
Taco
Chipotle.
bowl.
Like we eat bowls everywhere we go. And I grabbed the fajitas and I was stuffed, but they are amazing.
Yeah, they were huge, 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 huge. And then you have it was really good food too. It was very fresh tasting. It was different Mexican too, because we got like mushrooms and different things that you typically don't see.
Those mushrooms were amazing. I love when they roast them.
A little too good. And then you have Shadyside Detail right here. So you have car place. And then we're actually going down to Mechanic Coffee, which is another great coffee shop. You have Soba, which is really, really good sushi and that type of cuisine. It's delicious. And this one, I would say, it does have less than Walnut Street, but it's definitely like quaint. You do have a few boutiques, a few salons, but not as packed and not as like convenient as Walnut Street is.
Yeah. And to our left, there's actually Shadyside Nursery, where a lot of local residents purchase all of their plants, outdoor plants and indoor plants as well. They feature both.
That's a huge thing. Yeah, and you see a lot of apartments on this street, but if you go a few blocks down, you're going to see a lot more housing options.
And fun fact, guys, I recently bought some house plants. They're all snake plants, and they actually detoxify the air. So that's a tip you can use if you want to clean your air in your house.
All right, Mechanic Coffee, here's we go. And here in Ellsworth, you also have a wellness salon and spa, and then you also have a fashion antique store. So I would say Ellsworth Avenue is really good for like fashion, antiques, and a few coffee shops. Not as many restaurants, and like I said, not as many like Apple stores, Tennis Village, and different specialty shops that are very useful. What do you see, George?
Riley's favorite place,
What's that?
Whole Foods to our left, but then Chipotle to the right.
That's a good point. So the Whole Foods is right here. Now we're actually crossing East Liberty territory, but it's literally on the cuts of Shadyside. So you'll see the East Side sign minutes away. And then not only do you have my favorite place, but what else do you see?
Told you already, Chipotle, Riley.
You have Deca Lash, Chipotle, Fine Wine and Good Spirits, and then you also have Piata. I think you have a Pure Bar down here, and then you also have a Smoothie Cafe and So Fresh. And then right across the street here, you're going to have South Highland Avenue, which is Shadyside. We'll be showing you that, but first we wanted to show you the reason why tons of tech workers are coming to this area, and we're going to walk over there now. I'm telling you guys, you will not believe it. It's crazy. Okay, so this is technically East Liberty, but it's right on the cuts of Shadyside, so you're still going to have access to all of this when you're living in Shadyside. So right there you have the Slice on Broadway, and then across the street it looks like you have poke bowls and fresh juice, which sounds absolutely amazing. You have a Goodwill. You could tell these streets look newer. Again, it's very flat.
Yeah, a lot of
Nice
money
road
came
space.
into this area recently, like tons of money whenever the tech came into Pittsburgh. So you guys are coming in at a good time.
Exactly, and that's why a lot of clients say, like, I want to live in this city. Should I live downtown or should I live in a city neighborhood? We typically recommend the East End just because of all of the livable aspects, where downtown you're mainly looking at like steakhouses and not as much everyday needs, not as like there's barely any groceries downtown, but it's good if you're living that condo life and you're not gonna stay in the condo all the time, or you don't mind like taking the distance to groceries. But if you want everything in your back door, like literally Target, everything you could need, then you're actually going to like the East End just due to all of this livability. So we switched our transportation mode, but we wanted to show you guys these townhomes that are adjacent from Bakery Square, which makes it perfect for tech workers, especially young professionals. A lot of you guys like the townhome living instead of single family. Now these are definitely luxury. We just showed this one the other day to a tech worker that's relocating here, and they do go for over $1 million. Now they were recently built a few years ago, and it's a beautiful community. It's sidewalked, and like we said, the location is just unreal. I mean, you're right next to Ellis School. Mellon Park's literally a 1-minute walk, and then right across the street you have Bakery Square. So this is perfect to literally step out of your house and be a 1 to 2 minute walk from your workplace every day. With so much nearby, it's just probably the most livable community in all of Shadyside. So we're on Danielle Street, Emma Street's right there, and you'll see different names being the street names here, but this is definitely one of the most desirable places to live. And these are beautiful exteriors. You could tell very modern, and it's very rare that they put new construction in the city, let alone Shadyside. New construction is a lot more rare here, but you do get some yard space, some decks, even some rooftops on some of these, and some balconies, a garage, another additional parking spot, and then like we said, location is, this is actually called like bakery living.
It doesn't get better, guys, and we've been in these a few times, and let me just say, they do not disappoint.
Yeah, we did actually sell one of these to a client relocating, and they absolutely love it and just rave about the location. So we're actually at another townhome community here in Shadyside, and I recently just showed clients that unit right there, and it needed renovated, so they didn't want to do the renovations and they wanted something more move-in ready, but due to the renovations, it was priced very good. So this is a community where you could get a better deal compared to that new construction one, and it's actually right next to it. So you're only about a 2-minute away from that community, so about 3 minutes away from Bakery Square, which is awesome, fantastic location. And this one is all brick. It feels a little bit older and it's a lot more charming. That one only had a few units in it. It was a good size, but this one's a lot bigger. It's an HOA and it's covered by trees. So this is Shadyside, like feels like almost village style. And like we said, you could get a better deal here that is within, I would say, $500,000 range compared to $1 million. And so you guys can see how close Shadyside is to the Bakery Square area. This sign is Shadyside and this one is Larimer. So,
Or AI Avenue.
Or AI Avenue. Literally a street over. And this is Mellon Park. So we're about to show you guys the park, hop on some bikes, and fly on the drone.
Woohoo! It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have the drone follow us on the bikes. To this area are the basketball courts right behind me. So a lot of people move here because they love the park, and it's only like a 2-second walk to play some basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of parks. You're actually close to Frick Park, which is our city's largest park, along with Shenley Park, which is an awesome environment too. Okay guys, a few other streets is going to be Filbert Street, Howell Street, and South Aiken Avenue. Now these are really desirable because again, they're close to those business districts and you're getting a lot of different architecture, Victorian style, absolutely beautiful custom built properties that range all the way past the $1 million mark. So usually starting in around $800,000, maybe $7 million, and then going past $2 million. And these are, they get sold very fast. They're desirable locations. So if you think of Shadyside, think of like the business districts almost like you would a beach area. Anything closest to that beach is going to be more desirable and property prices are going to be more. But of course it still does vary based on square footage, the finishes, how updated it is, and of course all of the specs. So keep that in mind, but we could really pinpoint you to the exact location based on the business district that you like, the lifestyle, the walkability, bikeability, close access to parks. You tell us whatever you want and we're nailing that area and that home for you. And I mean, this is what we do every single day. Boots on the ground. All we do is relocation, local buyers, buying and selling here, and we absolutely love it. So please reach out if you are considering a move to Pittsburgh, because we could save you so much time, effort, and stress, and ultimately make the process as smooth as possible, as we've helped hundreds of people relocate here. So if you are considering a move to Pittsburgh, we could really place you in that right spot. So make sure to reach out to the team. The contact information will be up on the screen here and always in the description below. We look forward to helping you move here to Pittsburgh.
See you in the next one.